Good afternoon. Time now is what 1:15.
Yeah, 110.
1:10.
Yeah.
I'm a little off. Okay. So I'm here with Jen, who is the owner of First Hustle and Vibes. So I'm very excited to be here. How about you?
I am.
Very.
A little nervous. Don't have cameras,
I
but
know.
it's
Don't worry. Don't worry. It's fine. But we're here because I wanted to interview you because I remember the last time I had your food. I don't know how long it was, but I remembered I had the Rasta pasta and the mac and cheese. So without giving out all your secrets, like how do you prepare it? What do you do?
so for the pasta pasta,
Mm,
it's kind of a mixture of different recipes that I used to try,
mm,
like back when I was, in restaurant, not in restaurants, but like dining out,
mhm,
and they had that on the menu. So I can pick up on little nuances, such as like obviously a lot of them use heavy cream, so that's part of like my recipe style.
mhm.
Some people just like to spice up the cream with some cheese and with then whatever you do this answer. But okay, so basically for me, my preparation, I just, as I went out to different restaurants, I
Mm,
started picking up on different rasta pasta styles. So
mhm.
if I go to a Jamaican place, if I go to even a Haitian place, I just kind of pick up on what they're doing and then kind of put my own spin on it. So obviously I use my choice of spices,
Mm,
cheese, heavy cream, definitely onions and peppers. That kind of gives it that like festive, tropical vibe.
mhm,
And the noodles, really, I kind of play around with hilariously enough.
mhm.
Some people like to use ziti, some people like to use penne. I like to use cavatappi sometimes. So it just all depends on what the occasion is, what my mood is. That those things will kind of vary, fluctuate, but as far as the recipe, it stays consistently the same.
So you don't like using the elbow though? The elbow macaroni? You don't use
No,
those?
actually, that is my least favorite macaroni shape.
Okay, I gotta understand why. How so?
I think that as much as it is a classic
Mm,
shape, I feel like it doesn't do any justice with holding sauce. So then it's just, and then if depending on the producer that makes the macaroni, sometimes if you boil it, it's too thin, and then it kind of disintegrates in the sauce. It kind of gets lost. The reason why I prefer like a thing like cavatappi is
mm,
because it has this swirl to it.
mm.
Um, like the elbow, it does have an internal hole, so to speak, where sauce does get trapped in,
Mm.
but it carries it better, especially when they have grooves.
Okay, so I understand where you come from. Now you said you go out to a lot of places, right? Is there any favorite spots that you really like the most that you can that inspired you to do this? Like any top three
As far as just restaurants in general, or like
restaurants in general, mostly.
ooh, child. So one of the restaurants that I used to love to go to was Footprints in Brooklyn, the original location on Clarendon.
Hmm.
Um, it was just because if you got kind of get a bird's eye view into the kitchen, and a lot of the times I used to sit in that area and I'm just in there watching the chefs. And at the time I was so in love with their rasta pasta. I'm like, I gotta learn how to make this because this is cracked, this is so good.
Hmm.
And I'm just watching them in the kitchen do that stuff. So it kind of drew me into cooking, even though
Hmm.
I would know how to cook certain things already, but it drew me into cooking dining at that restaurant. So
Hmm.
I would say definitely Footprints is definitely an influence. Oh, there's so many. Like I got to eat a
There's a lot
lot.
going
There's
on.
a lot going on up here. Um, Another restaurant, I would say that I used to. It's kind of basic because really, I'm like, because my brain is like on 1,000 right now.
Hmm.
But Pio Pio used to be another one of my favorite restaurants to go to,
Hmm.
especially the one in Hell's Kitchen. Like the way the restaurant was designed, the food is obviously really good. It got me into sauces because that green sauce is cracked too. So I was like, I need to learn how to make this. I need to learn how they make their chicken so moist, because usually at home when mom and pop is making chicken, it comes out dry, because they like to overcook things sometimes. So
Hmm.
Pio Pio was like a good influence on how you can achieve um, certain things with cooking.
Hmm.
and the sauces also, the condiments also gave me like a kind of like a excitement component. And the last restaurant that I would choose, funny enough, so a restaurant that really got me into brunches
Hmm.
was this place called Lasagna. It was on Second Avenue. I'm not sure if they still have that location. It's
Is
like
that the one on Little Italy? Or
no, that one is the one on 8th Avenue. That's still in business. But the one on Second Avenue, I'm not sure if they're still open. But it was kind of like my intro to the restaurant scene. And I didn't know what brunch was at all. It was me and my best friend. We kind of was like, I don't, fuck is this? Like
mm,
breakfast and booze? Like, let's go. So we actually used to frequent there every Sunday for about like 2 years.
hmm.
And it kind of just got me into the restaurant world. Yeah, you would go out with your friends and family, but for special occasions. But this was actually the first instance I would just go for pleasure. Like there was no connotation to it,
Hmm.
so it would just expose me to like hospitality and the wait staff. The wait staff there was incredible. Um, so as far as like my love for hospitality, that place kind of like blossomed that for me. It opened my
Uh,
eyes, So different places kind of have a different impact on me.
mm.
But those are the top three that I can think of right now. I'm sure there's plenty more.
Well, well, that I can actually. I mean, I love those answers. Now, I noticed you've seen me, and you've seen me go to a lot of places.
Right.
Has there any been? Is there? Yeah. Sorry, guys. Has there been a place that on my page you saw that kind of piqued your interest?
There was a place that you went to in Valley Stream. I can't remember the name, but I know
32 North.
32 North.
Yeah.
Yes. So that piques my interest because I have not been there yet.
Mhm.
I am interested, not only in just supporting Black businesses in general, but just Caribbean places and just trying to see like their take on their dishes. Like, what's the imagination behind it? What's the story behind it? Why did they choose this sauce instead of that sauce or sauce at all?
Mhm.
So that's one of the places I definitely wanted to try. There is another place that I kind of was confusing it with a little bit. It's like further up. It's again, I'm sorry for the names, but it's another Caribbean place, but the chef is a woman. I remember that it was just one random off night. I had money to blow and I was looking cute that day, so I went. Service was great there as well. And the chef ended up coming out at closing and was like asking me questions about if I liked everything. I was like, first of all, I didn't know you were in the kitchen. That's awesome. And everything was great. Down from the drinks that I had, the appetizers, everything was awesome. So, yeah, like that's the one place that really stuck out at me is 32 North. I'm like, I have to go try that.
If you do, like, shout out to you, Giovanni, by the way.
Yes.
Honestly, he's very, very creative in what he does.
Yes.
Especially like he gives you this boost of energy, like a boost of energy, like you belong there, like he wants you to feel welcome there.
Right.
And every time I go there and I see him, it's all love, it's always good vibes every single time you go.
And that's amazing to have. A lot of places don't have that anymore. They get lost in the wanting to make money and
Yeah, I know.
They lose the embodiment of what hospitality and service means.
Exactly.
But yeah, I'm glad. I can't wait to go. Now that you're like raving about it like that, I have to go soon.
Trust me. If you see him, talk to Giovanni.
Yeah.
He's very cool. Shout out again to you, Giovanni. He's so cool. Like, believe me, you go in there, he'll welcome you with open arms. And then try the mimosa flight, though.
The mimosa flights?
The mimosa flight. So good. Extremely good. Either you can ask him to surprise you with the 4, or you can just choose out of the 4 flavors you want.
Okay.
They do some good avocado toast. And I'm not even a big fan of avocados. Okay. I'm sorry, but that converted me, to be honest with you.
To be open to trying it.
Yeah, I like to change my palate a little bit more. That's how I am, because I don't want to be like one-dimensional. Mm-hmm. I want to try each different type of dish, even though some dishes, I'm not harming no businesses at all. Some dishes,
yes,
some of them are kind of not seasoned as much.
Okay, yeah.
Some, but again, no harm, no foul.
Yeah.
But there was a place that I did go to. I was in Jersey. I don't think you saw it, but I went to this place called Sandwichitos. I don't know if you saw that video.
Yes, I did see that video, actually.
What's your take if you ever wanted to stop there? What do you think of that?
So I remember, I don't remember exactly what you had. I don't know the concept of the restaurant.
It's basically like sandwiches. They make the baguettes. They make they marinate everything. I had the jujitsu steak, by the way, and that they marinate for 2 days,
Okay.
and they load it with chimichurri sauce, so you need a lot of napkins for that.
Right, right. I
But
think yes. So I think for a concept like that, first of all, making your own bread is a tall order anyway. But it does add a sense of freshness, at least to the sandwich, and making like chicken. Like if you're just a handheld place, some people like to get messy though. I put that out there. Some people do like to get their hands dirty when they're eating. I love marinating, like, and going through the process and hours of marinating. I'm not a real big fan of like kind of like slapping seasoning on and just going about your business. But I would definitely try it. If I'm in Jersey, I would love to, pop in and get a handheld, share it, whatever. It just, all depends on what story they're trying to tell with their food and who they are as a location, as a restaurant.
Well, not only do they have the sandwiches, but they have Tres Leches cake, which is good.
Okay.
I mean, I had it a couple times, and I'll be honest, I'm not really a cake person.
Same.
I'm just like, I take a bite and they'll be like, whatever. But like red velvet for some reason now is my favorite, and now the Tres Leches cake is now my favorite.
Right.
Which I cannot believe, but it depends on who makes it.
Right.
I'm sensitive when it comes to those two things.
Right.
You mess up red velvet cake, I have no trust in your restaurant no more. I'm sorry.
Red velvet is it's a very complex. To me, it's a very complex cake because I don't bake, so there's also that.
Well, I mean, yeah, and it's understandable. Now, speaking of, I gotta ask you, the dishes that you're coming out for your brunch.
Okay.
So, which ones are you? What are you looking forward to? I mean, you don't have an exact date yet, but I know you got some new stuff that's coming. I want to try them one day. So
there's some old stuff from last season, last fall season that went really well. For example, the stuffing stuffed shrimp was a hit. Turkey was a hit as well, but I'm not featuring it as a main for this 2024 season. I'm gonna feature it as an appetizer and 2 different cooking styles. I am going to actually feature meatloaf. I'm not sure if that's going to be the main, as the main entree for brunch, but definitely playing around with chicken and waffles. One of the surprising dishes that went really well for my Labor Day brunch was curry chicken with dal puri and over easy eggs. So I'm definitely gonna bring that back. And I'm just still exploring a little bit. I know it's crunch time, but I kind of don't want to overwhelm people when they come in for brunch with a long menu. I want them just to see something that they like and just like go right for it, or they could just be like, give me, mix match and go crazy, right? And I also try to do a nice beverage program for my brunch. Something that fits with the season, that's very approachable, but still packs a lot of punch and flavor, holds a lot of weight. So yeah.
So basically, like for different seasons, you want to do different things on your dishes.
Right.
Like for summer dishes, winter dishes, fall. All the seasons change, right?
Absolutely. So I like to encompass definitely pumpkin for the fall season. I like to encompass just spices, cranberries, especially in the drinks, pumpkin, cranberries, rum creams, kind of things, kind of just to kind of get you in the coziness of the weather change. For the dishes, definitely also featuring pumpkin. I'm Haitian, so we do a soup jumeau, which is mostly pumpkin and just beef and potatoes, and it's just like a hug in a bowl basically. So that's awesome. And for December, obviously Christmas, and bring out the rosemary, bring out the powdered sugar to make faux snow and all kinds of things like that. So I try to keep things themed. And I do have a spring program and a summer program. So just to kind of envelop like what those seasons are about, and definitely use fresh local producers to kind of make sure that I'm keeping things fresh. Yeah.
And fresh is key.
Yes.
Freshness is everything.
Yes.
And that's what I like the most. If I hear things are made fresh in house, deal breaker. I mean, I just go right in there and I'm ready for it.
Right.
But there are some places, some that have menu lies, which I can't really stand.
Okay.
They usually have things that they say they make fresh daily,
Right.
and then you go inside, and all of a sudden things are just like,
Right. That's true.
you know what I mean? I mean, have you ever been to a place like that that had like freshness, and then they had menu lies?
Yes. I mean, I feel like people fib a little. Um, it's kind of like I can take a friendly lie. Like I can take because down in the kitchen when you're in the trenches and let's say like for example if it's a brunch and you have 30 people walk in and they want this and that it's not conducive to make everything fresh.
Mhm.
You would want things made ahead of time, like prepped ahead of time, for optimal freshness and optimal time. That but if you're telling me that I'm gonna get coconut shrimp and it's out of a box instead of like filleting the shrimp, seasoning it, breading it fresh. Those two are two completely different components. I'm not saying one is bad worse than the other because they both might have very good flavor profiles. But if you're telling me I'm getting fresh coconut shrimp, I don't want it to come out of the box. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? There's nothing wrong with it. It's just
You want to taste everything.
Right.
Basically, what like caught shrimp,
Right.
they devein it,
Right.
peel it,
Right.
and you season
Season
it,
it, all
do
of that
whatever.
Like
That
I've had both. I'll eat both, but don't give me the menu lie, like you said.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'd rather just have it like straight up, like hey, this is what I got, this is what I'm gonna give you.
Right.
But the final question is what I have for you is like, what's the end goal for First Hustle and Vibe? Like, what are you gonna like? Are you gonna make it into a restaurant business someday? Like,
Yes, I am. I am aiming for a brick and mortar place. It won't be called First Hustle and Vibe, but I do want to name it after my grandmother. So I am looking. I've been on LoopNet trying to find like the perfect space, even though that doesn't exist really. But just something that is going to be able to uh, bring forth what I want. You know what I mean? I essentially I want tapas. I did want to start out as a wine bar with like a speakeasy cocktail lounge, but that's kind of a harder space to get. So, I mean, start with baby steps, right? So, if I can find a place that has a pretty cool bar and a well adequate kitchen, I will start there, and then we'll go upwards from that moment. But that's really the end goal.
And I'll be the first one there to try that food. So
I hope so.
you know I will. But guys, I want to thank you all so much for watching this interview. Big shout out to Jen, by the way. Make sure you guys follow her on Instagram, First Hustle Then Vibe. You see it on her sweater. Just remember, keep an eye on this. She's going far, all right?
Oh, thank you.
But I want to thank you guys. This is actually my first interview with you, and I really appreciate this.
Oh, thank you, darling.
No problem. Thank you. But I will see y'all later. I'm hungry now.
Yeah.
Because of you.
I know. Let's go eat.
Let's go eat. Later.